Liverpool exploring transfer move for magical Mohamed Salah replacement.
Welcome to LFC Transfer Daily News. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Liverpool exploring transfer move for magical Mohamed Salah replacement. Should Liverpool's contract negotiations fall through, the club faces the prospect of three of its standout players leaving for free this year. One of which is Mohamed Salah, the Reds' leading goalscorer in the Premier League era. In a bid to replace Salah, should negotiations for an extension prove to be unsuccessful, Liverpool have already looked at numerous different options, and a new report suggests that Real Madrid's Brazilian talent Rodrygo could be on his way to Merseyside. Speaking to El Chiringuito de Juguns via Fichajes, journalist Eduardo India said, "There is a team from Northern Europe that is obsessed with a Real Madrid player to replace the absence of a player who is getting older and who is Egyptian and who will leave that team. I'm talking about Salah leaving Liverpool. The replacement is a player who is sensational every time he plays the ball and who is often undervalued. I'm talking about Rodrygo. Having been pushed out of the team following the arrival of Kylian Mbappe, Liverpool may be able to tempt the Brazilian away in what would be a remarkable move, despite the obvious loss of Salah's class and consistency. Forward thinking should Salah wish to leave. The club and fans around the world will not be wanting Salah to leave anytime soon, having broken countless records across his 8-year stay in Merseyside. With 307 goal contributions in 355 games for Liverpool, Salah has totally redefined what is expected of a winger in the Premier League, constantly delivering to the highest level season after season, showing remarkable consistency. However, while already the club's highest paid player at a reported £300,000 a week, the club is cautious around how much more they should offer the Egyptian, given his is now 32 years old, despite him still playing at the top of his game. In Rodrygo, a multi-Ballon d'Or nominee, Liverpool have a ready-made replacement available for Salah, who could slot straight into his right-wing role and likely deliver from the off. Whilst his attacking numbers don't quite stack up against Salah's, there are very few players in the world whose would. Nonetheless, 100 goal contributions in 225 games is still an impressive effort, especially given the Brazilian is just 23 years old and he is having to deliver for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Now that he has had a taste of what it is like to play in Spain, a move to Liverpool would be a new opportunity for him, while still playing for a side with an immense amount of history in European football. As young players like Arda Güler and Endrick begin to bed themselves into Ancelotti's Madrid side, Rodrygo may begin to feel isolated and Liverpool could be the perfect destination. He is clearly a huge talent and someone his teammates described as magical last season. Soccer must also be considered that as Real Madrid are keen admirers of Trent Alexander-Arnold, the relations between the two clubs may work to the advantage of securing a deal with Rodrygo. Liverpool transfer news today: Trent replacement found, Szoboszlai transfer hint and Gomez update. Here's all your latest Liverpool transfer news with updates on Joe Gomez, Marc Guéhi, Jeremy Frimpong and more. Trent replacement identified. Liverpool fans across the world will be hoping that Trent Alexander-Arnold eventually decides to sign an extension to his contract to keep the dream alive of the Scouser's stay at the club for his entire career. But if negotiations happen to fall south, the club will need a new right-back to replace the incredible influence that Trent has when on the pitch. According to a new report from Court Offside, Liverpool are great admirers of Bayer Leverkusen defender Jeremy Frimpong, who has a release clause of just £34 million. At just 23 years old and having just pulled off an invincible Bundesliga campaign under the eye of Xabi Alonso, Frimpong is an extraordinary talent who could certainly soften the blow of potentially losing Alexander-Arnold. And having featured heavily for the Dutch national team, he is a personality that Cody Gakpo, Ryan Gravenberch and Virgil van Dijk will know very well. Szoboszlai backs international teammate for Liverpool move. Slowly, surely, the club is finding long-term solutions and avoiding problems before they become immediate, with new sporting director Richard Hughes is at the centre of this project. Recently, reports have emerged of Liverpool's apparent interest in Bournemouth left-back Milos Kerkez, who Hughes signed in his previous role at the South Coast club. These reports intensified earlier in the week as Fabrizio Romano reported both Chelsea and Manchester United's interest in the Hungarian defender is waning. And a new twist in the tale has emerged today, with Liverpool's own incumbent Hungarian, Dominik Szoboszlai, liking an Instagram post linking his national teammate to the club. Whilst it's not worth overreacting to, the clear link and support between Szoboszlai and the 20-year-old left-back makes the situation not just any other transfer saga. Two Premier League clubs eyeing move for Gomez. The centre-back position was a strong talking point at the start of the season for Liverpool. The initial debate was between Jarrell Quansah and Ibrahima Konate for who would partner Virgil van Dijk at the heart of the defence. Whilst Arne Slot opted for Quansah in his first competitive lineup, the answer that emerged fairly definitively afterwards was that Konate would be the starter. Absent from the squad that day was Joe Gomez, who was assessing his options ahead of a potential late-stage transfer that ultimately didn't materialise. Now, Football Insider is reporting that both Aston Villa and Newcastle United are monitoring Gomez's situation ahead of the January transfer window. Arne Slot identifies Virgil van Dijk replacement. While many fans will be in despair should Virgil van Dijk leave Liverpool this season, the Reds may have identified a player who ticks all the boxes as one of the club's potential replacements for the Dutchman. Of course, the contract negotiations for Liverpool's captain may still prove successful, but 33-year-old isn't getting any younger, and Liverpool may opt for a proactive approach in replacing the centre-back, as they have done with Alisson Becker and Georgi Mamadashvili. According to sources from Football Insider, Arne Slot has been won over by Crystal Palace talent Mark Guehi as a player to provide cover and competition for Van Dijk. After excelling in England's European Championship campaign last summer, where they finished runners-up to Spain, the left-footed centre-back has grown in Liverpool's estimations, with a move potentially on the cards.
Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.